Prepare for Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the final chapter.
Yes, the time has come to finally leave behind the DS9 Tiermaker list. So this is my rankings so far, and if you notice, my episodes are pretty much in the upper tiers, so S, A, and B tiers. Because DS9 is a very good show, and most of the episodes are pretty solid. There's really only a handful of episodes that really aren't very good. But we're in Season 7 now, and Season 7... I used to consider Season 7 the strongest season of DS9. Maybe when I was like fairly new to DS9, going through my initial rewatches. I've kind of cooled over it over the years, and I start to notice more issues with it. Especially towards the end where it gets like really bloated, and there's like so many plot points going on because they're trying to tie everything up at the end. It's still a very good season, probably one of the better final seasons, well, I shouldn't say final seasons, one of the better 7th seasons of Star Trek, because technically Enterprise Season 4 was the final season, and that's probably its best season. As far as 7th seasons go for Star Trek, DS9 is probably the strongest. So, without further ado, let's rank the episodes and see how all the episodes of DS9 rank. Let's get going.
How will a page from one man's past close the book on a 7-year legacy?
So the first 2 episodes of Season 7, Image in the Sand and Shadows and Symbols, continues the Season 6 finale, which was Tears of the Prophets. That was Jadzia's last episode where she was killed off. And now we have the introduction of Ezri Dax.
Hello, Benjamin.
Do I know you?
It's me. Dax.
As far as replacement characters go, Ezri's not too bad. She's definitely no Jadzia, but considering all the circumstances, behind the scenes, Nicole DeBoer did pretty well with what she was given. We get the revelation that Sisko's mom wasn't really his mom, that his mom was actually a prophet who possessed a woman that Joe Sisko decided to marry, and then she left him after she wasn't possessed anymore. That does kind of contradict some of the stuff that happened in Emissary, because the prophets didn't know who Sisko was back then, and all of a sudden they're like, actually, we arranged his birth. I mean, they're an okay bunch of episodes, just some of the details, some of the Season 7 details thrown in there aren't the greatest. They come off as a little retconny, but it's not terrible. It doesn't break the show, which is alright. I don't know if it's quite A tier. I probably consider it like a high B tier. It's not bad, but yeah, it introduces some details to the story that cause some problems with like the earlier episodes. I'd say it's probably better than Children of Time. I said Children of Time, not Return to Grace. It's an alright season opener, but there are other episodes I enjoy more. After Image, Ezri adjusts to having the Dax symbiont, and Garrick tells her off and she cries in the corner.
You're pathetic. A confused child trying to live up to a legacy left by her predecessors.
Again, I don't mind Ezri as a replacement character. Again, she's no Jadzia, but she's alright. It is a nice opportunity to see who Ezri is as a character before the rest of the season goes on. So it's a nice little character building episode for her, and it's pretty alright. I don't think I'd call it an A tier episode. I think there are episodes I enjoy more that I would consider A tier, but yeah, After Image is alright. Yeah, I think I'll put it above Image in the Sand. Take Me Out to the Holosuite is a really fun episode. These nice little standalone episodes in Season 7 help break up the seriousness of the war. So they're a welcome addition for me. I think some people prefer that Season 7 didn't have so many standalone fun episodes, but I like the fun nature of Take Me Out to the Holosuite. Although they should have tried to get Garrick for the baseball team, because that would have been hilarious.
I've also left him with the distinct impression that if he attempts to force the door open,
It may explode.
I hope that's just an impression.
Worf chattering is a classic moment in Star Trek. Yeah, the whole episode is really fun. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a low S tier episode. I'll put it right under Favor the Bold. There are probably more episodes out there that try to say something with the material, but yeah, Take Me Out to the holosuite doesn't need to say anything big. It's just a fun episode, and we get to see the senior officers play baseball. It's fun, I like it.
Hey, batter.
Death to the opposition!
Oh, Chrysalis. That's with the genetically enhanced people. They come back, and I already didn't like the first episode, and I'm not a big fan of this episode. Julian basically dates one of his patients. I'm not saying a doctor can't do that, you know, if there's a real connection, but it's kind of frowned upon, and yeah, it doesn't feel right. You know, I like Julian, but yeah, it's kind of funky territory when he's dating his patients, and he's done it a couple of times throughout the show. Yeah, that's really funky territory right there. Where did I put statistical probabilities? Because I'd probably throw it in next to there. Oh, it's a high D tier episode. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it next to statistical probabilities. I'm gonna put it underneath there. Not a fan of either episode. Treachery, Faith, and the Great River. Well, the subplot with Nog trying to replace Cisco's desk is alright. The A-plot with Odo and the Wei-Yun clone that's trying to defect, it's okay. It's not really an episode I go out of my way to watch a whole bunch. Even when it's up in the lineup, you know, I could take it or leave it, to be honest. Not a bad episode, but I'm just kinda on it. I'd probably call it a B-tier episode. I mean, it might be better than the alternate. I feel like it should go there, maybe. Yeah, let's go with that. Once more unto the breach. I think the way I feel about that episode is similar to how I feel about Relics in TNG. It's nice to see an original series character come back and guest star in an episode. However, it's kind of unpleasant to see them being treated badly just because they happen to be old. In Relics, it was Scotty, and seeing Geordi crap all over Scotty was not fun to watch. Seeing Martok kind of crap on Kor a lot of the time, even though you kind of understood why he didn't like Kor, it's still not fun to watch. And it's always great seeing John Colicos. I always like when he appears on Star Trek. He's got a great presence. But yeah, I don't like seeing how he's treated by the other Klingons. It's kind of tough seeing him have basically Klingon Alzheimer's. Like, he doesn't quite know which year it is, and you can tell he's getting older, and it's a little hard to watch for that. He does have some really poignant moments. I will give the episode that, but... Oh, not to mention I think there's an ending song that's really nice. Yeah, it's one of those episodes that it's a decent episode, but kind of a tough watch. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call that one a B-tier episode as well. I mean, I would think it's better than something like Dr. Bashir, I presume. I feel like it should go there. Oh man, the Siege of AR-558. DS9 had a knack for tackling some really heavy subject matter without getting graphic. Siege of AR-558 shows kind of the grittiness of war and kind of the struggles that people on the ground are going through. It can be a tough watch for that, but it's very well done. This is the episode Nog loses his leg, and it does come up again a couple episodes down the line. It's not an episode I go out of my way to watch, but I can recognize greatness. This is a pretty great episode. And I do like that it pretty much stays fairly PG, maybe slightly PG-13 because there are action sequences. There is a battle at the end, but you don't see anything. It doesn't have to get graphic to tell a really good story. So this is an A-tier episode for me. Not that I go out of my way to watch it a whole bunch, but I can recognize that this is a great episode. I'd probably call it better than In the Cards. I think I'll go there for that episode. I think I'll put it there. Oh no, Covenant. That's where Dukat started his own cult. Not to mention we had a full-out Maury case in the middle of it. Dukat, you are the father! Oh yeah, there's a Bajoran woman gives birth to a half Cardassian, half Bajoran baby, and Dukat's the only Cardassian on board, and he's like, it's a miracle! It's kind of a creepy episode, which is why I don't go out of my way to watch it a whole bunch. Kira does do a good job in it. We see the extent of Dukat's insanity in this episode. I feel bad putting it in C tier, but that's mostly because my enjoyment of it isn't very high. Probably enjoy Move Along Home a little bit more. Move Along Home I could laugh at. But yeah, Covenant is just kinda creepy for me. Okay, people are gonna hate me for putting this episode in D tier. It's probably right under the assignment for me. Because I find the episode a bit creepy and I really don't care to watch it a whole bunch, I'm just gonna put it in D tier. Yeah, I don't like watching the episode a whole bunch, I'll be honest. Okay, It's Only a Paper Moon, S tier, that is my top episode. It's a Vic Fontaine episode. We got Nog tackling his PTSD after losing his leg. James Darren singing.
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over cardboard sea.
Like, I love this episode. It is my comfort episode. It can get a little heavy at certain parts, but watching Vic help Nog move through his PTSD and the trauma he's experienced and basically become a better counselor than Ezri.
I don't know what's going to happen to you out there. All I can tell you is that you've got to play the cards life deals you.
But yeah, It's Only a Paper Moon is my top episode. I love it. Would have been better if it was a Jadzia episode, but yeah, I love that episode. S tier, top episode for me. Prodigal Daughter. This episode makes my ears burn every time I watch it.
Hi, Janelle. We're in the middle of a war, Janelle.
I don't know if I can leave all of this on Janelle's shoulders.
Because Ezri has a brother named Janelle. It's not a common name. And the whole time they're saying Janelle. And I'm just looking up like, what's going on? Who's mentioning my name? Ezri's brother stole my name.
Janelle can handle it.
No, I can't, Ezri. Stop putting stuff on my plate. But yeah, it's one of those episodes, other than the novelty of hearing my name a bunch of times in Star Trek, I don't really go out of my way to watch it a whole bunch. I'd probably call it like a low B tier episode for me. Probably put it around Sanctuary. Maybe it's better than Sanctuary. I'll put it there. Alright, we got another Mirror Universe episode, so it's gonna go in the F tier. And it's a Season 7 Mirror Universe episode, so it's gonna go way low in the F tier. I'm gonna put it right under Through the Looking Glass. Yeah, DS9 shouldn't have done Mirror Universe episodes. They did absolutely nothing for me. Oh man, Field of Fire. Because we needed more Duran Dax in this show. And he was better looking in the first episode he was in. Equilibrium, he was better looking in Equilibrium. Now he just looks like a creepy guy. This is one of those episodes that explores the criminal mind, which again kind of has that creep factor that I'm not super big into. It's not that Ezri is bad in the episode, it's just the creep factor I'm not very crazy about, so probably a D tier episode for me just because I don't particularly enjoy it. I mean, it's probably better than The Assignment, so I'm gonna put it there. Oh, Chimera. Odo's running around with another changeling played by Not Martok, and he almost leaves his girlfriend to be with this guy. You know, the episode wouldn't be so unpleasant to watch if Laz the Changeling wasn't so unpleasant.
I've always wondered how it would feel to be able to fly through space like that.
It's a shame you're incapable of ever experiencing it.
The fact that he looks down so much at solids is just really difficult to watch. It's unpleasant. I don't sympathize with him. He should have been more of a sympathetic character where you understand why he thinks what he does about the solids and why he's treating everybody like crap. He's just an ass for the sake of being an ass, and I don't particularly like watching that.
What's he doing?
Being Fog, what's it look like?
Why can't he be Fog somewhere else?
Again, not a terrible episode. It's probably gonna go in like C tier for me, but maybe like a low C tier. It's probably better than Q-less. Yeah, it's one of those episodes, whenever it comes up in the lineup, I'm really like, Chimera again? Yeah, it's totally a passable episode for me. It doesn't really add a whole bunch to the last season either. It's just there. Bada bing, bada bang! It's another Vic Fontaine episode. And it's a nice little Ocean's 11 kind of caper thing going on with the cast of DS9. And we get that nice musical number at the end of it with Vic and Cisco, and it's great. It's a fun episode.
The best is yet to come a day of mine.
I'm gonna go ahead and call that a low A tier episode, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's better than His Way. Inter Arma Enum Sealant Leges. That last scene of the episode is really good, and I do like that last little bit between Julian and Admiral Ross.
Enter Arma. Einem sealant legis.
In time of war, the law falls silent. Cicero.
The rest of the episode, though, is a Section 31 episode, and I don't like Section 31. In fact, these last 10 episodes are basically the finale of DS9. It's basically like a 10-part finale. And Inter Arnum Enum Sealant Leges, try saying that 5 times fast. It just adds Section 31 into the mix where it didn't have to be in the finale. Like, there was enough going on with the other story arcs that they didn't need to throw Section 31 into it. So the last arcs of DS9 were already kind of bloated, and then they added Section 31 into it, making it feel even more bloated. Oh, it's an episode that didn't need to happen, in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a high C tier episode. Just because my enjoyment of it is kind of low. It's probably higher quality-wise, but I probably enjoy it more than... I'm not even sure what I enjoy it more than. Maybe better than The Quickening? Maybe? Like I said, I'm not a fan of that episode. Oh yeah, Penumbrum, because we really needed Worf and Ezri to start up a kind of relationship or resolve their feelings from, his marriage to Jadzia. Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't have done a whole bunch with Ezri romantically. And they kind of threw her and Worf together in this episode. And I don't really like that. It felt really weird. Because you could tell he was still in love with Jadzia, but Ezri happens to have the symbiont, so they do the you-know-what. Like, oh yeah, let's have a shouting match, and oh, now we're making out, this is fun, oh, now we're captured by the Dominion. That's the episode. Also, I guess this is the episode where Cisco proposes to Cassidy, and I think that's when the prophets were all like, oh, you can't marry her because she can't follow you what you have to do, and there's all that going on. I mean, not a bad episode. I feel like a lot of season 7 episodes are gonna be like, yeah, it's not a bad episode, but I'm kinda on it. So I feel like Penumbrum's like probably a B tier episode for me. Maybe better than The Abandoned. I feel like it should go there. Alright, Till Death Do Us Part, that's where Cisco marries Cassidy. And what else goes on? Oh no, that's with Dukat becoming Bajoran. And he starts doing the you-know-what with Kai Wynn, which was just icky. I mean, we knew Wynn was bad, but it's just made it worse. Yeah, it's probably a low B tier episode. Oh, yeah, it's probably a low B tier episode for me. I'm gonna put it maybe above Sanctuary. Because quality-wise, it's probably better than Sanctuary, although I might slightly prefer Sanctuary for the fact that I can rant about that episode. Yeah, I guess it'll go there. I don't know, I feel like B tier might be too high for my enjoyment of that episode. Strange Bedfellows. Oh no, it's The Odd Couple again. Oh, is that the episode where Worf kills Weyoun? And then the next Weyoun walks in while Damar's drinking and, nursing his alcoholic problem, and he goes like, well, hello!
Well, hello!
That was pretty awesome. I love that moment, just that, well, hello! Yeah, I probably feel about the same about this episode as I do with Till Death Do Us Part. I'm gonna put it right under there. It seems like a good place to put it. Also, I have to give a shout out to Soulbor. He could have been the true hero of DS9 if only he brought in backup when he went to confront Dukat and win. Because that man could have saved us all some trouble. And then we have Bajoran Unsolved Mysteries. Tonight, loyal servant of Kai Wynn mysteriously disappears without a trace. This comes at the same time that she began seeing Angel Tehran, a mysterious Bajoran who doesn't have a past. Is it possible he could be Gul Dukat, the former prefect of Bajor and Cardassian oppressor?
Join me. Perhaps you may be able to help solve a mystery.
Changing Face of Evil, I feel like that's the episode Dukat goes blind. Or maybe it happened earlier. I don't know, some of these episodes kind of blend together, because again, it's a 10-part finale. That might be the one where Dukat goes blind. Oh, Worf and Ezri return to DS9. I'm like reading through the wiki page. No! Soulbor was this episode! The big thing in this episode was Kai Wynn finds out she's been dating Dukat the entire time and, doing the you-know-what. I feel like there's a lot of that in this season. And, poor Soulbor. But yeah, I don't remember a whole bunch else about this episode. Like I said, all these episodes kind of blend together for me at the last part of the show. I'm probably gonna put it in B tier with the rest of this arc. So I guess there's so many episodes at this point that the tier maker list is getting cut off at the end. So, I don't foresee adding any more episodes to F tier, so I'm just gonna leave F tier, cut off at the end. And yeah, I'm sorry guys, there are just so many episodes, it's really hard to squish everything into one screen. So When It Rains, I think that's the start. If I remember correctly, that's the start of Kira, Garrick, and Odo helping Damar's resistance movement against the Dominion. That plot was done pretty alright, because it would make sense that the Cardassians wouldn't want to listen to Kira even though she's got a Starfleet uniform on, because she did used to be in the Bajoran resistance fighting against Cardassians, so it makes sense there would be some tension there. But this is the start of Odo catching the Changeling illness where his skin starts to flake off, and he's been infected too. So you have some really heartbreaking moments between him and Kira. He's determined to work until the very end, until he can't anymore. Kira has to pretend that she doesn't notice that he's not doing well. And Garrick's a real bro in this episode. He's kind of helping them out. Garrick in the last 10 episodes or so, you really see the good in Garrick, and he's helping the Federation out, trying to help defeat the Dominion. Granted, he's probably doing it for his own self-interest, but you do see some of the good in Garrick in these episodes, which is kind of nice. Basically, I think the final arc for DS9 is a B tier arc for me. It ends the show okay, but there are things I wish it did better. So I feel bad just kind of shoving everything off into B tier, but that's kind of what I'm ending up doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this a B tier episode, I think. I'd say it's better than Prodigal Daughter. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna move Prodigal Daughter down to just above Sanctuary. I think I prefer the final arc of DS9 over that one episode. Tacking Into the Wind. That's the episode where Worf kills Gowron, and Martok becomes Chancellor of the Klingon Empire. So it kind of finishes off, most of the Klingon arc. Gowron was kind of done dirty in the last arc, where I didn't get the impression he was a terrible leader up to this point, and then now it's oh yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing, which I think is a disservice to Gowron, because I think he was a fun character. And I really hate seeing the character go down this route. I wish they paid a little more respect to Gowron in the last little bit of DS9. We still get those eyes. I mean, the eyes are pretty awesome. But yeah, an alright episode. Prodigal Daughter... Try to put Prodigal Daughter... Yeah, here. But yeah, Tacking Into the Wind, probably, again, B tier episode. Maybe I like it better than From Death Do Us Part? Yeah, let's put it there. Okay, Extreme Measures. Yeah, the whole let's throw Section 31 into the mix, even though there's enough plots going on in the last 10 episodes. And also, they were the ones that engineered the Founder virus, and that's why they don't want Julian to develop a cure, because they're getting rid of an enemy. Yeah, that's a low point in the last arc of DS9, and I skip it almost every single time. Basically, it's Julian and Miles inside of, Section 31 agent Sloane's head, and they're trying to find the cure, and Julian's in the one part of his brain, and there's all these, newspapers around with all these secrets that he could be grabbing, but he just needs to grab Odo's cure. But man, it'd be hilarious if some of those articles were like, wow, Bat Boy really exists? So, yeah, it's a low point for me. I'm putting it in D tier. I'm not a fan of this episode. I don't like Section 31. Again, it should have just been in one episode, and that was Inquisition in the previous season. I'll put it under Chrysalis, I think. I think Dogs of War might be the one where, I swear, there are 5 different plots going on at the same time, and it's ridiculous. So, kind of a messy episode in that regard. I don't like how Ferengi society changed in that episode, and it's just in that one episode. We don't see the Ferengi moving towards taxes and social programs throughout the show. It just kind of happens all in the last episode. And how Mugi was behind the whole thing, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense for what we know of her character up to this point. So that's my biggest complaint with that episode, is just how the Ferengi are handled, because it's just out of the blue, they completely changed Ferengi society, and it didn't make much sense to me. Yeah, it's some messy writing in that episode, and I think I'm gonna put it... I think I might put it high C tier. It's probably better than the Muse, but yeah, it's kind of a messy written episode from what I remember. It might have been a little bit of time since I've watched the episode, but yeah, I remember so much was going on in that episode, and then the Ferengi arc just kind of ended really strangely. Alright, last but not least, What You Leave Behind. I know people love this episode, and it does do a good job ending off the show. However, it's not my favorite Star Trek finale. That honor goes to All Good Things. Which All Good Things did a really good job coming full circle to the beginning of the show. And, which I don't think that, well, that format might have worked for DS9, but I do think the format of What You Leave Behind, which is the conclusion of a 7-year story, it was a good format. I found myself a little disappointed in this episode. I was expecting it to be a lot bigger. I was expecting that final showdown between Dukat and Cisco to be huge. And then I found myself kind of underwhelmed by it. For that reason, it's probably going to end up in B tier. That being said, it does do a good job of wrapping up the show, and we have that final scene where the camera pans away from DS9 and as it slowly disappears into space. That was a really great shot. I love that shot, but yeah, I mean, it's a good episode. It's just not my favorite finale, so I'll probably go ahead and call it a high B tier episode, but I don't think I would call it an A or S tier episode. I'll put it above You Are Cordially Invited. Okay, that is it for DS9 in Tiermaker.com. This is my ranking. Most of the rankings end up in S, A, and B tiers because this is a very good show. And even some of the episodes in S tier, I wouldn't call bad episodes. I'm just kind of lukewarm on them. But yeah, the bulk of the episodes end up in the upper tiers. Very few episodes in D and F tiers. You have a little bit more in C tier. This is a very high quality show. But yeah, I would say if you combined S and A tiers, you get more episodes in those top 2 tiers than you do even in B tier. Which is pretty good. As much as I love Star Trek The Next Generation, there are a lot of mediocre episodes in the show, where with DS9 you do get a higher quality bunch of episodes going. I would say you have more memorable episodes in TNG, but you have a higher quality set of episodes in DS9. And yeah, and the only reason there are episodes in F tier is really there's a handful of episodes that I straight up hated, and then the Mirror Universe episodes, which I never liked. So I'd say DS9 did pretty alright. So I guess that's really all I have to say about ranking DS9 with Tiermaker.com. You know, as always, thanks for joining me on this little journey. If you like what you see, why don't you give me a like and subscribe to my channel and tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.
But I will